afternoon and good evening to you, the people of the tube. Hope you're all today. Hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there. I have a pedal to show you today, everybody. And it's this one. It's another one from Mr. Hubcap John, the Fuzz Maestro. Well, Fuzz and treble booster Maestro. I mean, how cool does that look? I hope you'll be able to see that. Let me get closer. Very cool. I trust you'll agree. So, let me get closer. I'll tell you what we got here. So, it's mounted in like a tobacco tin, as you can see, which is really, really cool. Like, quite a lot of Hubcap John's pedals are mounted in these, and they're really, really, it just looks immense. Absolutely immense. So, controls. This is a Fuzz pedal, everybody. And I forget the name because I'm not very clever. But yeah, here we've got a Fuzz control, which I have on 10 all the time. Volume control there, and you've got a bias control, and this seems to simulate battery dying, and it's really good fun, and I'll show you that in a bit. Then you've got a three-way switch here at the bottom that gives you different kind of tonal variations, if you will, and we'll get to that in a bit. But that's it. It's a straightforward kind of like fuzz face kind of sound, you know, fuzz, volume, but we've got this added bias control and this three-way switch on it as well. So, without further ado, let's plug this beast in and make noise, because it's absolutely immense. And you know I love Fuzz. You know I love Fuzz. And I gotta say, thanks to Hubcap John for lending me this one for demo, because it's absolutely and I love the look of his pedals. I have two now. I have a Rangemaster treble booster, which I use a lot, and I've also got a Fuzz face clone, kind of the same kind of thing, which I use a lot as well. And they're all in tobacco tins, and they just look immense. And I love them to bits. And if you're a fan of that pedal show, you probably saw one appear on there, because one appeared on there, which is really cool. So anyway, enough rambling on. Let's get some noise. That's what we're all here for. So, plug this in. Let's make some fuzz. Okie dokie doodah. Okay, so we've got Mr. Hubcap John's Fuzz pedal plugged in. The name of the pedal is actually in the description box. I just forgot, because I'm not very clever. It's been a mad few days. But anyway, excuse me. So, going into the CR120 today, and we're using the orange compact cab today with 4 Voice of the World speakers. So we're not using the JSM 900 today. Just fancied a bit of a change. So the orange stack is in use. And we're miking up the bottom left corner. I'll be using mostly the dirty channel of the CR120. Like, if you've seen a lot of my fuzz pedals, I don't like running fuzzes for a clean sound. I think it sounds a bit nasty. I will show you it later on, but I prefer it through a dirty channel myself. I prefer the amp to be a little bit overdriven before I run a fuzz through it. It just makes I feel it makes the fuzz respond nicer and the sound a little bit. It takes some of the harshness away from the fuzz if you run it into an overdrive thing. It makes a very kind of warm and very round kind of sound, which is very nice. And this pedal has that fat fuzz tone in spades. So, enough rambling, Dave. This is the sound of the CR120 on its own on the dirty channel. I've got volume set on 10. Treble, middle and bass are all on 0. Typical Dave EQ. And I've got the gain at 4, and it sounds like this. This cab has got so much oomph, it's unreal. Okay, so I will show you some settings. In the Maggot Brain Jam at the beginning, I started with the fuzz all the way down and then cranked it all the way to the top, which is kind of like my favourite setting. For a favourite setting on the fuzz, everything has to be on 10. So that's where we're going to start. Volume, fuzz, and bias are all the way up on 10, and I've got the three-way selector switch on the here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I think I'm shadowing it, but there's that little three-way selector switch. I've got that over to the right as you're looking at the pedal. So, CR120, fat fuzz. turning it off, it's not loud enough to be a nuisance. That's full fuzz and full volume. And you got that much gain. I want to play Spoon Man. That is just humongous. I think I've clipped one of the I've clipped one of the mics, but it's fuzz. It's allowed to be clipped. It's allowed to be distorted. It just sounds immense. That sounds absolutely immense. And I like the cleanup. It's this kind of really woolly sound. Now don't have to my face there. Okay, so there's someone in my amp trying to get out. Okay, so let's start with the fuzz. Let's put the fuzz all the way down. So this is fuzz now on 0. This pedal really serves that overly dark, fuzzed up tone that I love. But it serves that master really nicely. I really love how dark and woolly this fuzz is. It sounds totally different to the other ones I've tried from Hubcap John. It sounds absolutely different. To the fuzz face clone I've got, to the other ones I've tried, it sounds totally different. And I love it. I just love it for what it is. I will turn up some of the mids in a bit and let you hear it a bit brighter. But, so yeah. Anyway, fuzz, that's on 0. Fuzz on a quarter. Sorry to stop mid-play, but one thing I do love about this fuzz pedal, it's really dark and woolly sounding, but it retains the clarity. You can still, when I'm droning that D string, you can still hear the notes on the G string. It still retains the clarity of, like, you know, the original sound, which I really, really like. It doesn't kind of mush up and become kind of inaudible. Okay, so that's fuzz on a quarter. This is fuzz on a half. We're starting to get into a fun territory. Kind of reminds me of Eric Johnson there. My poor vain attempt at trying to be Eric Johnson. So that's fuzz on a half, fuzz on 3/4. Starting to like it. And it starts to do that kind of thing, but fuzz pedals do. grommet. And fuzz all the way up. Woo! Fuck's a lady! And when the fuzz is all the way up, the cleanup is really cool. And it kind of gives you a bigger, does that really cool thing that some fuzz pedals do, is when you turn them down, especially kind of fuzz faces, when you turn them down, they kind of clean up, so you kind of get... And I love the cleanup on this pedal because it's really different. Normally it's quite bright. The cleanup's normally quite bright and very kind of like, you know, very clean. Whereas this one's got a real woolly tone. Real awesome kind of bluesy kind of sound. I want reverb for it. Pick a key, any key, C sharp minor. I love this pedal. I mean, that's everything maxed out as well. Okay, so I think that's my lead. Sorry, everybody. My lead's on its way out, so there will be these weird noises that keep coming through. It's like someone's trying to get at me out. Let me out! No, you will stay in there, tone demons. Anyway, weirdness aside, let's show the bias control. Right, so the bias control is on full here. Right, so bias control does that. it makes some weird Matt Bellamy-esque noises, which is really fun. But I'll get to that in a minute. So I've put the switch over to the left side now, because it seems to cut out that lot. So this is the bias on all the way to the left. I'm going to turn the fuzz down as well to a half. Actually, I'm going to turn the fuzz back up. There's a difference. You can hear it. It's like the battery's dying. Turn it down a bit more, and it starts to stutter. I mean, if that's not a cool sound, what is? Ah! It's very Jack White. There's all sorts of increments. Oh, the bias all the way down is just... It's just absolutely broken fuzz. Tone down net pickup. I love that stuttery thing. And then put it back to normal. So, from normal to that, you can actually hear it degrade. That just makes this pedal like ever so much more versatile, because you can use this kind of thing live or in the studio to kind of like, you know, to simulate that kind of Jack White broken fuzz tone, which is just so cool. It does sound absolutely broken, and I love that. It's like when you're using an Octavia pedal, kind of you know, that higher octave kind of fuzz, and you kind of turn the fuzz all the way down, but you've still got the effect. The guitar sounds broken, and that's one of the really cool characteristics of fuzz, which I love. That kind of real broken out, nasty kind of fuzz tone, and this just does that. This is the magical dial, absolute magical dial. So I actually like to run the bias about 3/4. All the way up is really cool, but I actually like to run it at 3/4. So I'm going to leave it there for the time being. Okay, so now the fun part. Put the guitar behind the back and put the switch in the middle. And then play with the bias control. And then you can do this. And if you put your switch to the as you're looking at it to the right, it does the same thing. It's the same, but it's a lower octave. Sorry, everyone. Oh, he's a funny man, is Dave. Ow. Hark! I see a whale off the starboard bow! Actually doesn't sound like a whale, it actually sounds like, you know, trouser wind. But, you know. But how can you not love that sound? And then, all the way to the left doesn't actually do it. So, in the middle you get a high one. And it sounds like a theremin. All the way to the left you get a low. Sorry, to the right you get a low. And then all the way to the left you get nothing. It's not there. But it does sound absolutely crazy. If you put this switch to the left and then just crank everything on 10, when you don't play, the feedback is bizarre. And you can kind of do it with your volume. is literally hours of just messing about with this pedal, just finding interesting little, kind of like quirky little sounds. I'm afraid I do love that low one though. Like. Anyway, I'm sure you're getting all very fed up that Dave just playing a pedal. I'm getting really carried away. I bet you can't tell that one. Yeah, it's gone really dark outside as well. It's absolutely grim as monkeys today. I don't know what grim as monkeys means, but hey. Okay, so is there anything else I haven't shown you? Okay, so I'm going to put the bias at 3/4. I'm going to put the switch to the that way. Fuzz and volume are on full. Let's try some different EQ on the amp, because I'm sure some of you are like, it's too dark, which I totally understand. Okay, so. Yep, that's close enough. Okay, so let's add some. I'm not going to add bass because it's got plenty of that. Let's add some mids. Let's put the mids to 2. So a little bit brighter there. Well, a lot brighter actually. So add in the fuzz. Oh my gravy! Okay, so that's adding more mids, and you can hear it just kind of makes it just go, just gnarl, and just becomes an absolute beast of a sound. Okay, so let's add some treble. I'll turn the mids off, and we'll just add some treble now. So treble's at 2. My nemesis, treble. Okay, so now I've got treble. actually, it's not horrific. It's a gnarly sound, but it's quite cool. And then back to my favourite sound, which is all EQ on. It just sounds so different. I just prefer that. There's no sharp edges to the fuzz. It's just really smooth and really kind of just smooth and warm and fat, and I prefer that myself. So if that's adding treble and mid, you can hear how it kind of responds. Okay, so last thing to do. Let me show you for a clean channel. So flicking the CR120 over to clean. I'll tell you what. Let's dial it in as we go. Okay, so that at this point in time is volume on 10. Bass and treble are both on 0, so that sounds a bit thin. To me, there's not enough low end, so I'm going to add some boom in there. So I'm going to put bass up to 2. Whoa! Volume jump. Let's turn the volume down. Quite cool, actually. Hang on. Okay, so turn the master volume down now to 2. The master volume for the entire video has just been over to, it's like 2.5. So master volume's on 2 now. So I've got treble on 0, bass on 2, and volume all the way up. That's more of a know how to play Psycho, I just know the riff. You actually get more on that the low pass filtery sound with on a clean channel. You actually get more low pass than you do on an overdrive. That's interesting. I could just literally spend hours messing with that sound with delay and all sorts of other stuff. It just sounds absolutely ridiculously cool. Okay, so that's it for a clean channel. I don't really want to add treble, but let's do it anyway. Okay, so everything's at 2. I'm going to turn the bias all the way up and go to the lower setting. Whoa! My gravy. Okay, I'm going to put the bias at 3/4. That reminds me of some of the sounds you hear on some of Jimi Hendrix's live recordings. That's the sound. That weird kind of electrical sound. It's like when his fuzz pedal's acting up. That's terrifying. That's so nasty. That is dead nasty. But I love it. This is such a cool fuzz pedal. The bias control, the three-way switch to get different kind of like, you know, levels, different kind of sounds of fuzz. What are you doing to me, Hubcap John? Why? I'm actually sweating. I'm actually sweating, everybody. That's a good sign. That's definitely a good sign. But anyway, I'm gonna call it a day there. I really hope you enjoyed this video on the Hubcap John Fuzz with the bias control and the three-way switch. It's absolute monster. I'll put a link to Hubcap John's Facebook in the description box below if you want to get one of these. Then just contact him. I'm pretty sure he ships all over the place. So yeah, so just let him know if you're interested. But oh, by the way, I'm not using any other pedals. But this is the only thing that's in line. It's the CL120 to the Fuzz to the Strat, and that's the lot. So anyway, really hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the noises this thing makes, especially this one. I won't do it! Oh, there it is. It's in a different place because we're on the clean channel. Where's reverb? Anyway, enough frivolity. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is an immense pedal. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. Goodbye now. Haha.